right, Shalom. I want to start off, as always, by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim B'cha Kodash, double honors unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love into the brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And as you can see, the title of this video is going to be Australia is heading toward M.O.T.B system. And in this lesson here, I have a few things pulled up concerning Australia and the recent laws that has pretty much been passed in their country and what they are presenting unto their people. That's pretty much, man, is going to lead them to the M.O.T.B. All right. And you should know what the M.O.T.B is by now. Okay. If you've been watching the Apostles and Elders of Great Millstone, you should know about this. Okay. But this information here highlights prophecy. Okay. And since I've been watching the Apostles and Elders, man, they've been constantly warning about the M.O.T.B. They have went into the scriptures. They have went into information. They have presented, hella videos, articles. I mean, just constantly showing that, look, man, this is what the Apostle John was talking about, okay? The M.O.T.B. is that C-hip, and it will be used to pretty much enslave humanity, all right? And some of this information here in this lesson is going to show you that this is the ultimate goal of the elites, is to enslave humanity and pretty much, set up this digital prison, man, all right, in which they can reign forever, be connected with AI and so on and so forth, okay? It's a bunch of madness, but it's prophecy, all right? And I want to get into this, and Lord willing, this be edifying to you brothers and sisters out there, and hopefully it doesn't take too long, all right? So first thing I have pulled up here is a video from RTD TV, which is Rethinking the Dollar TV. And as you can see, the title of his video reads, Race to the ATM, Aussies protest against the push to go cashless. Is it too late? Now, earlier in the day, the Apostle Tahar, he somewhat spoke about this video, right, in his lesson. And so I just want to come along and, give my 2 cents on this video here, but also get other information, all right? So I'm going to skip a little bit also through this video because, he goes for 44 minutes, but he doesn't talk about the situation in Australia for 44 minutes, all right? So Lord willing, this is edifying. Here we go.
All right, we are live for the Tuesday edition of the Morning Check-In. And as always, excited to be back, looking forward to connecting and sharing with you the latest and greatest of what's happening and what's trending in the news this early morning. So hope everyone is doing well. I'll give it a second before.
Man, come on. I didn't have any problems until I started, man. Come on, bro. Yeah, boy, this is Satan, boy. One moment here. One moment. I don't know what's going on with this here.
If you guys are interested.
Okay, so.
All right, let's get into the stories of the day, man. For them, but then again, going quite well for of what's happening and what's trending.
All right, so I'm going to go back to where I was at. I don't know why that thing messed up, but here we go.
For the Tuesday edition of the Morning Check-In. And as always, excited to be back, looking forward to connecting and sharing with you the latest and greatest of what's happening and what's trending in the news this early morning. So hope everyone is doing well. I'll give it a second before I begin my news debriefing as well as my rants and everything else. Looking forward to having a good live stream as always. Let me know, for those who are plugged in, how things sound in the chat. And while you're at it, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button and show your support for the channel. And we're going to make it a good, informative, yet interesting live stream as always. So, all right, let me know where you're watching from in the chat, man. Take a minute, show some love in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. And also, it's been a minute since I've heard from any of my Aussie or Australian brothers and sisters. And so looks like things are not going too well for them, but then again, going quite well for the powers that be, trying to further the digital enslavement through the closing of banks and the push to go cashless and everything else that is being rolled out first around the world. So, of course, here in the U.S., we'll probably get the last of all these efforts, but hopefully with enough information as well as effort to push back and to resist, we can prolong this as long as we can. So,
and that's the problem with these people right there, okay? They think that they can stop prophecy, okay? And keep in mind, this guy here is a Christian, right? This Jake here, he's a Christian. And they don't understand that what Esau is pushing up on the world, right? This digital enslavement is biblical prophecy, okay? It's the M.O.T.B system, man. This is what the Most High God wants. But these Christians don't understand that, okay? Now, they are right saying that it's evil. Yes, it is evil. But it's the plans of the Most High, man. He controls both the right-hand side and the left-hand side, okay? And what Esau is bringing is the will of the Most High. And no one is going to stop his will, okay? You can protest, you can do whatever. That M.O.T.B system is coming, man, all right? And you know, stiff-neck Americans and your freedom, so-called, thinking that you can resist this and change, laws, you're going to be sadly, sadly hurt when this thing truly hits Babylon the Great, man, okay? The words of the Lord does not go out void, man. Real quick, and I'll get back to the video. This is Isaiah chapter 55, starting at verse 10, and this is the NLT Bible. It says, "The rain and snow come down from the heavens and stay on the ground to water the earth. They cause the grain to grow, producing seed for the farmer and bread for the hungry. It is the same with my word. I send it out, and it always produces fruit. It will accomplish all I want it to do, and it will prosper everywhere I send it." So when the Most High God gave the word about the M.O.T.B, guess what? It's going to come to pass. It will accomplish all that he wants, man. It's going to prosper wherever he sends it. There's no stopping it, okay? The M.O.T.B system will be established in the earth, man, for a dispensation of time, okay? But Esau will get a chance to actually put C-hips in people, man. The Apostle John actually saw that. This is why he was able to write it down. The Lord showed him visions of people, lined up, taking that C-hip in their bodies, man. He's seen this damn digital prison that Esau is trying to bring forth in the planet Earth, man. Okay? This is what you Christians don't understand. So, going here back to this video.
I have about 6 or 7 tabs open that I'm going to share in reference to this slow but steady removal of cash out of the people's hands and into forcing people to pretty much play into what they've already positioned as the preferred medium of exchange, which is the digital representations of currency with the tap and go and the swiping of cards. So going to be an interesting morning. Okay, we got Who's a Jew check.
All right, now, so I'm going to fast forward here. All right, to 10:40. Well, Yeah, so going to fast forward here. 10:39 is good. Now you're going to get into that info here about Australia. Here we go.
Interesting. All right, let's get into the stories of the day, man. And so it looks like April 2nd has been chosen as Take Back Your Cash Day in Australia. And so I think we can learn a lot from stories like this because we won't hear about it on the mainstream media here. But slowly but surely.
Right. And I have the video, okay, of them, speaking about this in the news. And also he has a video, and also he has some Twitter videos, all right, of people showing people in the bank pretty much taking out all the cash, man. Okay. It's kind of funny a little bit, but these people, they're trying to, stop this, but they can't stop it, man. All right. So this is the video here that he was speaking of pretty much. All right. Here we go.
Just quickly say that on April the 2nd, that's on Tuesday, there is a kind of draw out cash day, a social media campaign calling on Australians to withdraw cash from your nearest ATM on Tuesday, April the 2nd, in protest against the shift to these digital payments. We've had digital IDs ran through Parliament. We've had the clown who runs the Commonwealth Bank wandering around saying people should be allowed to have more than $500 cash.
What?
Yes. So exactly. Let's get cash out on Tuesday. Everybody go to your cash point and get out cash. Let's get cash moving again. Very important because cash equals freedom, and they are doing everything. We'll talk about the digital ID as well. They're doing everything to push us into this digital CBDC world, which is absolutely a prison, basically.
Right. They want them to start using the central bank digital currencies, okay? That's the prelude to the M.O.T.B, man. We've been constantly telling brothers and sisters about it, constantly showing videos, constantly showing articles saying, look, this is going to be the new thing, okay? It's going to start off, with the tap and pay, with your phone or, using the app. But eventually, Esau going to say, look, this got to go in your body, okay? That's the ultimate goal. And I will play the video from 7 years ago where pretty much Klaus Schwab says that the fourth industrial revolution is going to change us and our identity, okay? This is the goal, man. It's all geared towards prophecy, okay? So I'll finish out this video here.
And it's anti-migrant because, as you know, my people love cash. They love nothing more. What was that line from The Castle? What is it with walkers and cash? We love cash. So this, I think, you could take this to the Australian Human Rights Commission on a race-based basis. I don't know if I might do
so
that.
Get your cash out on Tuesday. Get your cash out. Let's show them we still love cash.
All right, now, going here back to RTD TV video, and he also has a little small clip of them, taking that cash on April 2nd, all right, which is today. So here we go.
The banks in Australia have been deliberately closing down ATMs, as well as closing a lot of banks on purpose, forcing people into the tap and pay model, as well as some banks opening up their own unique apps that, for most part, has already done some of the things we've talked about before. I believe on the back end, the tokenizing of assets via deposits for their own purposes and getting people out there basically just not having options. So the goal is to slim down your chances and options of getting outside the system by keeping you in it via this digital transformation. And so real quick here, I'm going to share with you a little news story that caught people's attention. I'm going to share with you some things that's trending, and then we'll get into some stories and talk about how this came about on top of other things. So check this out real quick.
I love this social media post. They say 2nd of April, stand your ground day is draw out some cash day. Everyone who can, go to your bank's ATM, draw out some cash, even if it's just $20. If everyone did this, it would draw thousands of dollars out into the community, and banks will be running around to refill ATMs. We'll let them know how we feel. Remember, 2nd of April. We want this to go nationwide. Tell your friends, never let cash vanish, because that is indeed what will happen if we don't take matters into our own hands. And remember, it's a very handy way to get around the surcharge. Check out this article by the ABC.
All right, so I'll leave it there. And so here is what is actually happening. Somebody shared this, so people are literally recording people going to the ATMs, going to the banks, and literally, paying cash day. Everybody's encouraged to go get cash out the bank while it's still available to them, just because at the trajectory in which things are speeding up in Australia, the goal is by October of this year to have majority of the banks phasing out the ability for people to get cash. So they're ramping.
Esau's moving fast. By October of this year, okay? These devils are moving, man. All right? It's only a matter of time before those kind of laws are passed here in America, okay? Over in Australia, they're trying to pretty much get the people to where they can't buy nothing over $500, okay? They're making it hard, man. They're forcing them into this digital prison. But you wait till it comes to America, man, all right? That's going to be the cherry on top. Once this stuff hits Babylon the Great, all right, and these so-called free Americans can't just go as they please and do as they please and buy what they want, it's going to be hell, okay? Here we go.
Ramping up speed and at a very alarming rate. And we can learn a lot from this because it's just a matter of time before stuff like this spreads further. And so what's going on here? Let's get into the news directly. I'm not going to waste any time. So as of right now, let me share with you what's happening. So over on Twitter, you just type in hashtag cashless. And, here's a picture here, people at the bank. We got a lot of information here on cashless push going on in Australia. And then if there's another one here, let me see here. This is cash is king. And so as much as we talk about, or as much as I've referenced, even Ray Dalio has talked about cash is trash. In the short term, cash still serves an important role because it is something that you can actually possess in your hands outside of the system. And it gives you some sort of anonymity to where you don't have to be, all your transactions don't have to be public, or not public, but private information in reference to the banks and only knowing and stuff like that. So here's just some things that cash is king is trending out of Australia. And there's a big push of just getting cash out, using cash for the day. And so people are sharing their thoughts. And of course, this factors into their advancement and their CBDC research and stuff like that. So here's just some tweets here. What's happening on April 2nd, which is today in Australia, which is nighttime there. But earlier today, when we were asleep, they were pulling our cash. So what is going on there? Let's get into it. So here we have an article. Let me actually make this bigger. And so this has to do with the cashless transition steamrolls ahead after major banks closes all branches. So imagine, we've witnessed since the whole post-pandemic era, banks closing down nationwide here in the U.S. And so all ATMs, I'm sure you can drive around and see buku banks that are no longer operational. And it's not by accident. It's part of a greater design to bring in stuff like this here in the U.S. as time moves forward. But there, we get a taste of what they're doing in real time. So to give you an idea real quick here, it says a new all-in-one mobile app offers what developers claim is Australia's first end-to-end digital banking platform for the country's 2.4 million businesses with fewer than 10 employees. So they're consolidating physical brick-and-mortar bank branches down to an app where a lot of banks will be able to utilize. So it's going to be something interoperable amongst the banks type of thing, where people will be able to do their transactions solely digitally because there'll be no outlet to go get cash eventually.
Right. Cashless society, man. In so many words. This is the goal of the elites, man. For everyone to go cashless, okay? Going to give you a little app, that you can use. It probably be fair now for us, to where we're dealing directly with the banks, right? And everything is digital, okay? And every transaction you make, they know what you're buying, what you're doing, all of that. Also, you can escape from paying taxes. You can escape from paying, child support, right? All of those things. They're going to get you, man. As soon as they get you in their system, they got you, bro, right? If you owe, tickets, right? Toll payments, they're going to get all that money from you, man. And also, the CBDCs are what? They're programmable, right? Meaning that Esau, he can manipulate the money to where you only can buy what he allows you to buy, man. That's the scary part about it, okay? This is real, man, okay? This is real life. Like, we're seeing this happening before our eyes, man. I hope you brothers and sisters out there are taking this truth serious. I truly hope that you're taking this thing serious, man. Because in order for this system to truly get established, right, to truly, get accepted by the public, all hell has to break loose, man. All right, this current system as we know it has to be destroyed, man. And when they bring forth this M.O.T.B system, it will be the answer to all of our problems, so to speak, right? To, famine, just chaos in the streets, man, homelessness, just all hell breaking loose. They're going to present this as, look, this is the only way out of this condition, all right? I just pray that you brothers and sisters taking this thing serious, man, because we're going to be tested, all right? We're going to be tested, man, by this stuff. Yes, we will be able to use the CBDCs, but eventually, once again, it's going to eventually go in your body. Hey, look, take this. If you want to continue to, to buy this or buy that, you have to take this in your body. And that's what we say no. Hell no. All right? But people are going to take it, man. But here we go.
And it says here, the announcement comes a day after the Bank West announced that it is closing 45 of its branches and transitioning the remaining 15 to Commonwealth Bank of America branches, going digital only by October 2024. And so to give more insights as to what that entails, it says going cashless has its risks. The disappearance of cash, should it happen, is not without issues, however. Then it goes on to talk about the different banks and the problems with that. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so what else is happening here? Australia's transition to a fully cashless society now is in full swing as major banks close off physical branches. More insights saying the same thing. It gives more numbers, more dollar figures. And ultimately, because in this post-pandemic world where everybody was spooked into not going to ATMs withdrawing cash because it can contain the virus and germs and all that stuff that was used to scare people, people have been more than okay to use the tap and pay as well as a debit card, because that's just how society has evolved. More people feel comfortable, and it's easier and more convenient to tap and swipe than to actually go get cash. And so this is part of the excuse that the Australian central bank is using, saying that cashless activity is increasing. Therefore, why even have cash? Because it costs us to produce it, maintain it, secure it. Well, we can just go solely digital. That's a part of the argument. And so here's more insights. It says all these planning to protest tap and go society with the cash out day, referring to today. And so, as you mentioned, as I mentioned from our interview here, here's more information here, where they're telling people basically just draw a minimum of $20 and for that entire week, this week here, whenever you go transact in the real world, use cash instead of the tap and go system, and it'll put banks on the hook to where they'll have to go restock ATMs as well as have these armored trucks bring in cash in real time. So because they're saying that there's not enough cash in circulation to go around, so the goal is to put pressure on them to bring cash back to the banks, and it'll eventually slow things down some capacity. And so here is another narrative that plays into what's going on. CBA, Central Bank of Australia, Commonwealth Bank, suggests ban on cash payments above $500. And so another way of trying to push back against the people's demand for the continuation of cash, they're basically saying we're going to put a threshold on how much you can spend. So cash payments above $500 should be banned to help curb the shadow economy, according to Commonwealth Bank CEO Matt Coleman, who outlined a bold suite of economic reforms suggestions for the federal government at the banking summit on Tuesday, a week ago. He said this includes reconfiguring the income tax brackets by cutting the income tax rate to 30% for workers earning less than $300,000, as well as yada, yada, yada. And so, once again, paying cash as being something that is a threat to the mainstream economy because of shadow banking. Here in the U.S., they use money laundering, trafficking, drug use, all the stuff like that the banks, the global systemic important banks have been allowed to do, but they don't want the average Joe to be able to do it. Ultimately, what it boils down to. So, more push for going cash there. Cash is there. Shouldn't be a surprise there. And so here we have another reason as to why people are pushing back. And so it says here, a cash campaigner slams the hidden fees in going cashless by basically saying, I got surcharged $4.52 for paying a bill. And so
right. And just to give a quick testimony, man, when you stay in apartment complexes, right? They're starting to say, we don't accept cash, right? And you have to use, some website, that they lead you to, and you pay your rent, let's say your rent is $1,200, right? But when you pay using their website, your total comes out to be $1,245. And you're like, bro, where the hell does extra $45 come from? Then you talk to the people in the office. They say, oh no, it's it's a little extra fee that you got to pay, for using. Well, look, baby, you didn't explain this to me when I was here sitting down talking to you, shorty. But that's the problem with that shit, man. It's hella fees on everything, bro. Okay. And they know this shit is like hurting people's pockets, man. But it's a tax. All right. These devils gonna be the devil, man. Okay. But this is how crazy it's going to get. All right. And you cannot escape this shit, man. Like once you pay it, you can't escape it. They're gonna tax you, man.
Once again, people don't really take into consideration the fees that are charged when you use these tap and pay services, because ultimately the intermediary third parties such as Visas and MasterCards of the world, they charge for all the activity, both the person or the entity, which is then passed on to the consumer. So we can avoid all that simply by just paying cash. But then again, bit by bit, they're going to phase it out. And so at some point in the future, there will be no role for cash in society. So the whole point of sharing this stuff real quick briefly is that there's going to be a continuous push upon cash. So what we can learn from this, for those who are tuned in.
All right, so that's enough for this video here. Okay, but that pretty much sums up, what's going on there in Australia, okay, concerning them pushing the M.O.T.B system. Now also, they're also pushing for digital IDs, right? It said rent payment portals online. Yep. That shit wicked, man. That shit is wicked as hell. Esau be taxing, man. You try to, so you pay your money. Like, bro, like, what if you just have enough for your rent? What if I just have $1,200? That's all that I have. And you ask me to pay online, and they're asking me for an extra $45. What if I don't got that, bro? Like, this is the BS that you have to deal with, This shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. But here we go, man. Next video here, right? This is from Sky News Australia, same website as the last video here. Okay, but it says there is zero debate. Government rushing ahead with its digital ID bill. So not only are they pushing for them to go cashless, they're also pushing for the digital IDs, man. Because in order to use the CBDCs, you got to have the digital ID with it. Okay, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, man. All right. These devils are pushing these sustainable development goals, right? Been talking about them for a long time now. And look, I'm gonna go to my favorite website to highlight this, okay? But you are seeing the sustainable development goals manifesting before your eyes. All right. This is real. Okay. This isn't fake. This is actually happening. Okay. But since it's not happening in Babylon the Great, America, most people are oblivious to this. But it's going to come. All right. It's going to come. So here we go.
Matt, though, about another issue, though, digital IDs, and that legislation has now cleared the Senate. Given everything that we know about the possibilities of these things to be misused, the way that things that start out as sort of convenience things and, you won't have to show your paperwork for this or that, and everything we went through during the pandemic, the potential for this to really limit people's freedoms and to be tracked everywhere they go. We know with metadata, they started talking about, child exploitation material and stopping drug smugglers. And it actually, I think, even wound up being used by a local council to catch somebody recycling wrong. How do we know that this is not going to be misused? And why is the coalition seemingly going along with this imposition that could see every single transaction you make tracked or limited depending on what the policies or the panic of the day is?
Right. And that's the goal of the elites, is to track you, right? That's the whole purpose of this BS, man, is to track everything that you do, to make sure that you are following their orders, okay? And when you are disobedient, all they can do, well, all that they will have to do, right, is just, press a button and shut you out to where you can't pay your bills, can't buy groceries, can't get access to medicine because you're a bad person, right? Like in China. China is a great example, man. And this is why Klaus Schwab, he praises China because they have a very strict system over there, man. If you're not being obedient and following the Communist Chinese Party and what they ordered, then you get shut out as a bad person, man. Have a low, social credit score. Also, your money is limited. Okay, you can't go and buy plane tickets, train tickets, certain things you can't buy at the store. Your face is plastered all around the world. Well, all around China, on the big screens saying, look, this is a bad person. Stay away from this guy, okay? This is how crazy things are going to get, okay? So here we go.
Well, just to make sure we're right there, James, the coalition voted against the digital ID laws.
Good, well done.
Good, excellent. On Thursday, one of the few parties that did, along with One Nation and Ralph Babette of the Palmer Party. I think that were the only ones that were opposed. What was most shocking here is that the government rammed this through without any debate. There was a zero debate on that bill. No second reading speeches, no ability to ask the minister questions as there normally would be through a legislative process, and no ability to discuss and debate the amendments, many amendments that were put to the bill. Now, I myself, I was on the committee that looked at this bill. I'd worked with Paul Fletcher, the Shadow Minister, to develop 4 amendments from the coalition that would at least help strengthen these laws, and one which would delay them, which I'll come back to. But there was no debate about that. So these laws, the government says they're voluntary, but there's actually very wide exceptions in place that allow companies to move away from the voluntary requirements and effectively make it mandatory for you to get a digital ID, potentially to open a bank account or interact with state government services. The government even refused to remove state governments from the ability to get exemptions. The coalition and I also wanted to see these changes held up until we see the related changes to the Privacy Act. We've obviously got this surveillance state coming through the widespread use of cameras and facial recognition, AI technology, and there is meant to be some changes to the Privacy Act to make sure your face and the data around that face is protected within the Act. It needs to be updated. And a lot of groups, civil liberty groups, some of which I normally wouldn't support, but did want to see those reforms done first before we allow private businesses to expand their use of digital IDs. And the government's refused to contemplate even those amendments. It's rushing ahead with these digital ID changes. And as you say, you've got to ask why. Why are they? What's the mad rush here to allow private companies to surveil you more and potentially misuse your data to help grow their profits?
Because it's time for prophecy to be fulfilled. That's why they're rushing it. Okay? As the scripture says, real quick, here in Revelation 12, why is Esau rushing? Okay? Why is he rushing? It's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, right? It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So this is why Esau is speeding up the process, all right? Australia is getting ready for the M.O.T.B system, man. This is real, okay? Now, I want to go here to this video, all right, which I played this video countless of times, all right? As you can see, it says, what is the fourth industrial revolution by Professor Klaus Schwab, right? Mr. Baldhead himself. This was 7 years ago, right? And I have the caption on, all right, so that you can read what he's saying. You know, his English is kind of broken. He speaks German, all right? I actually went to U of H and I had a German class because I wanted to learn German for some odd reason. I wanted to learn German. Okay, and I was in there. I remember a little bit of it. I still have my some of my work. I still have my little dictionary. You know, um, I know a little bit. Okay, I know a little bit of it. But here we go. All right, Mr. Klaus Schwab himself.
The fourth industrial revolution will impact our lives completely. It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume, it will change actually us, our own identity.
He said it will actually change us, our own identity. What do he mean by that? That it will change us and our own identity. Pretty much, you would have to comply to their image. Okay? That's what he's saying in a roundabout way. You will have to comply to the beast system and be integrated into this digital prison. All right? Be merged with AI technology. That's what he's talking about. All right? These devils are crazy, man. This was 7 years ago. All right? They've been planning this way longer than 7 years. All right? But this just was 7 years ago. And he's talking like this. Okay?
Of course, gives life to such policies and developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. What we will see is that everything will be integrated into an ecosystem driven by big data and driven particularly by close cooperation also of governments with business, civil society. And this revolution will come at a breathtaking speed. It will be like a tsunami. And actually, it's not just a digital revolution. It's digital, of course, physical, with nanotechnology, but it's also biological. And so
he said that this fourth industrial revolution would come in like a tsunami, right? And pretty much overtake us. And he said it's not only just digital, right? He said, but it's also biological. What do he mean by that? You're going to merge with AI, all right? You're going to have that M.O.T.B in your body, man, okay? Biometrics, in so many words. That's what's coming to the planet Earth, man. These devils are moving forward with their plans. We're seeing it, all right? So here we go.
Dimension provides a particular force to this revolution. So what the World Economic Forum is doing is to promote this public-private cooperation to master the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution will have multifold impacts. Of course, every industry will be digitalized, will be disintermediated, and has to define a new business model. But it's not only business which is affected, it's government which has to move over to agile government, it is society.
He said every business will be digitalized. Everything, okay? They're about to change everything over, man. And we're seeing, bits and pieces of it, right? You go into the stores, certain stores don't accept cash, right? It's a Walmart I went to the other day, man. They had no cashiers, all right? The whole damn section was just nothing but self-checkout lines, all right? This is a prelude to what they're talking about, man. What he's talking about, all right? This devil, man. But I'm gonna move on here, all right, and go to my favorite piece of information here, all right? This is the United Nations website, okay? You also can go to this. Just go to Google, type in Global Digital Compact, right? So the first thing that I wanted to just touch on real quick is roadmap for digital cooperation, right? roadmap for digital cooperation. And I want to get to the point of what I want here. Okay, it says connect, right? You got connect, respect, and protect. So connect says we must achieve universal, safe, inclusive, and affordable access to the internet for all by 2030. Now, how would they achieve this? Okay, how would they achieve having internet accessible for everyone on the planet by 2030, right? They're going to do it through DPI, okay, which I'm going to go into that. But it says overcoming the digital divide is key to achieving the sustainable development goals, okay? But they want to make sure that everybody have access to the internet because this M.O.T.B system will be ran off the internet, man, okay? They're going to need it, right, to track everything, to do everything, right? Now, going real quick to this here, it says digital public infrastructure, right? Pretty much Esau laying the groundwork for the M.O.T.B system, right? And going here, it says, why now? Reading through this, it says, like roads and bridges, digital public infrastructure is made of digital building blocks that allow governments to provide safe and inclusive services to people at scale. Some governments are already deploying DPI at incredible speed and scale, while others are at the beginning of their digital journeys. It says, regardless of what stage they are in their journey, the necessary safeguards are to be in place to ensure DPI is safe, trusted, and inclusive for all. So you're seeing this digital public infrastructure being established all around the world. Some countries are ahead of others, but nevertheless, it's happening, okay? So that everybody can be connected, or at least the vast majority of people can be, okay? So now, going to, right, the Sustainable Development Goals. Because this is what you're seeing taking place in Australia, okay? This is what you're seeing. A global digital compact, an open, free, and secure digital future for all, right? And jumping down here, okay, to the SDGs, man, right? Did this 100 times already. But here we go, right? Number 1, digital IDs link with bank or mobile money. Man, look, let me try to get all of this right there. There we go. Digital IDs link with bank or mobile money accounts. Just reading that part right there. It's letting you know that in the near future, right, in order to have access to these CBDCs, you're going to have a digital ID, okay? They go hand in hand. You will not be able to have one without the other, okay? This is what Australia is doing. They are real deal.
But I want to ask you, Matt,
getting ready, right? It says government rushing ahead with this digital ID bill. Why? So that they can have everything ready for this cashless society, man, that they are establishing there in Australia, okay? But they're doing it based off these SDGs, man, okay? It says can improve the delivery of social protection coverage and serves to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Digital technologies may help to reduce leakage, errors, and costs in the design of social protection programs. In other words, this is a digital welfare system, okay? Now, scrolling over here, because you heard Mr. Baldhead, okay, Klaus Schwab, he spoke about the smart cities, right? And let me just go back to when he said it so that you can see it. Yeah, so developments like smart traffic, smart government, smart cities. Okay, these devil been planning this. So here, number 11, it says sustainable cities and communities. Right, intelligent systems deploy information from remote sensors to guide traffic signals and maximize the efficient flow of commuters in urban areas. They can be used to design safe transportation for vulnerable and underserved communities, right? So they're going to fix the cities, right, and make it more safe for you. And number 12 says responsible consumption and production. It says digital technologies such as 3D printing, the Internet of Things, big data, right? Mr. Klaus Schwab spoke about big data, cloud computing, and blockchain can support a circular economy and supply chain resilience, in particular, in manufacturing industries. This is a fancy way of saying, look, nigga, I'm gonna give you a CBDC. It's gonna be a one-word currency for everybody. All right. Ultimately, the M.O.T.B. Okay, and I'm gonna show you, pretty much just show you a little picture that sums up this fancy stuff right here, man. 17 says partnership for the goals. It says partnerships between states, private sector, and civil society leverage the capacity of digital tools to provide solutions for development across the Sustainable Development Goals. Examples include the Digital Public Infrastructure Alliance, the Coalition for Digital Environmental Sustainability, and public-private partnerships for disaster response. This is just fancy talk of a one-world government, okay? This picture here sums up all that fancy stuff. Now, I'm not sure how clear you can see it on the screen here, okay? But I'll read it to you. I read 1, I read 11, 12, and 17. Number 1 here says what? Welfare dependency. That's what number 1 was going into. Welfare dependency, man. All right. And 11 says what? Prison-like cities, right? They call them smart cities, but it's a prison-like city, man. Also, don't forget about the 15-minute cities, okay? To where everything will be within 15 minutes of your living space, right? So that you can't travel, long distance and pollute the air, okay, with your cars. Esau crazy, man. And number 12 says what? One currency. One currency, man. That digital dollar, okay, that cashless society, man. And 17 says one word government in so many words. So this is what Esau has planned, man. Okay, these are his plans, and they're moving forward with it, man. All right, we have actual proof. We have actual proof, man, that this devil, he is going forward with his plans, bro. And eventually, he will get a chance to execute this, man, upon the whole world. Okay? But keep in mind that the Lord told us about this first, man. All right? So I'm going to end here with 3 quick precepts. Isaiah 42:9, NLT Bible, it says, everything I prophesied has come true, and now I will prophesy again. I will tell you the future before it happens. And this is what the Most High does in his word, man. He tells you about the future, right? Future events before they take place, man, to show you his power. That's true power, man, to say something before it happens and then it happens, just as you said it. This is how you know the Most High God is true, man. Isaiah 46, verse 9 and 10, it says, remember the things I have done in the past, for I alone am the Most High. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. Only I can tell you the future before it even happens, right? You can't go into no other book, right, that speaks about future events like the Bible, man. No other books, okay? Even as great as Egypt was in this time, they had no prophecies, man. All right. And I remember somebody had questioned Shaka Atmos, right? Because he was saying that the Bible plagiarized Egypt. And they asked him about biblical prophecy. Well, no, they asked him about prophecies in Egypt. They said, pretty much, give us a prophecy that Egypt foretold of and came to pass, and the Bible pretty much copied it. And he had no answer. But he said Egypt. He said they did have prophecies about the stars doing something. I'm like, nigga, shut up. I'm like, I just cut the video off. How can you say that the Bible plagiarized Egypt, but you can't go into Egypt and show us where the Bible plagiarized it, man? One of their bigger arguments is the 42 laws of Ma'at, right? They say, Moses, he got those commandments from the 42 laws of Ma'at, right? You niggas are silly, okay? You're silly. Egypt has no prophecies, man. Islam has no prophecies. There are no prophecies in the Quran. Trash. There are no prophecies amongst Hinduism, right? There are no prophecies amongst Moab's gods, right? Trash. Through. The only prophecies that are true are contained in the Bible, man. And everything the Most High God has says will come to pass. So once again, it says, only I can tell you the future before it even happens. Everything I plan will come to pass. For I do whatever I wish, okay? In the M.O.T.B system, right? That's one of the Most High's plans. It's going to come to pass, man. All right? And we're seeing it happening before our eyes, man. Last precept, Revelation 13:16, right? The famous precept, man. And it's starting to be clearer as the day go on, man. This is GNT Bible that says, the beast forced all the people, small and great, rich and poor, slave and free, to have their mark placed on their right hands or on their foreheads. No one could buy or sell without this mark, that is, the beast's name or the number that stands for the name. Ultimately, this is what Esau is going to present to the world. Either you take this C-hip or you pretty much starve, okay? But the elect will be taken care of by the Lord, man. All right? Esau will not be able to C-hip the elect. It's impossible to do. Now, the rest of the world, he'll get them. But he won't get the elect, man, okay? The Lord will provide for us, man, when times get hard, right? When things go left. He's going to provide. He said it in his word, man. But this system got to come to pass, all right? Things are going to get very uncomfortable for us, man. Very uncomfortable, right? But it's prophecy, man. But, hey, it is what it is, bro, all right? So we're definitely going to close out, man. Lord willing, this information was edifying. I just wanted to show that, all right, that Australia, they're moving toward the M.O.T.B system, man. And it's only a matter of time before Babylon, all right, makes their move. And eventually the whole world, all right? So I want to close out here, man. Our Lord willing, it was edifying. All praise Yahweh by Shema Shai by Shema Chakadash. The abundance unto the apostle of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.